What's up, everyone? Jacob Roach back here from Mixing with Metal, and I'm here today to give you a tip on guitars. It seems like you guys have some issues with guitars, and I want to see if I can help in any way I possibly can. So, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about what to do when you get sent guitars that are already have an amp sound. You don't get sent DIs, anything like that, and kind of how to clean up those guitars. This is a song I recently just got sent, and I didn't get DIs. I just got distorted guitars, and they are distorted like crazy. And I'm gonna walk you through how I try to clean them up and get something that's usable out of them. Just as a side note before we jump in, if the guitars are unusable and you can't clean them up using some of the techniques I show here, then get in contact with the engineer of the band and make sure you get DIs, because guitar tones are one of those things that are pretty hard to salvage. So anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to show you just how I got them sent to me. Show you a better part of the song. So super distorted. There's some clarity in there, but they're really kind of piercing. And so I'm going to show you what I did to clean them up. So the first thing is good old trusty Pro Q2. And as you can see, there's quite a bit going on, but an important range that I'm not messing with is really the mid-range too much. I'm messing with the low, kind of lower mid-range, and then some stuff up here that was annoying me, but not much else. So let me bypass it, bring it in, and I'll walk you through each thing. Okay, and you may think that, oh, wow, the guitar's lost a bunch of balls. This is really important for guitars. Listen in the context of the bass. This bass, same thing. I was printed a super distorted DI, which I'll show you really quick. The bass is way over distorted. No clarity or anything. It's just muddy low end, so I have to basically reserve the bass to particularly just the low end, right? And so the guitars, if I take this out, I'll show you what this cut does, or actually these three really, because these are all really kind of messing with the low end. So in the context of the bass, let me show you what these three are doing. So it's allowing that bass to come through a little bit more. Not necessary on everything. Be careful here. It can sound good. It can sound really bad and make your guitar super thin. In this case, the guitars need to be thinned out a little bit because there's a lot of stuff going on in this track at any given time. And so the guitars really were eating up a lot of low-end stuff. So this is just track specific. I boosted a little bit here at 750. Giving them a little bit more bite in the mid-range. And then these were just annoying nasally frequencies that I found, which I'll solo for you and show you. Oops. Didn't want to do that. And these two, let me show you, just these two bypassed. Just making the guitars a little bit more pleasant to listen to. So I kind of carved them out a little bit and made them fit in this very, very dense song. And then the next thing I'm going to do is hit it with some multiband compression. Multiband compression is just going to be to tame the lows and keep that level. So we already cut out a bunch of the lows. This is just kind of taming any excess lows that are there, because there's a lot of palm muting, a lot of different stuff going on in this song. And so that's just going to tame that. Especially since this is a super low tune song, this is going to give all the notes in a phrase or a riff like that, give them all some consistency so that the low note doesn't have more low end than the higher notes that do. So this is just the Andy Sneap technique. All basically I'm doing is just taking the low band. I think this is just all stock semi Semi-slow attack, semi-slow release, and then I have a dip the threshold down, so I'm just getting a little bit of reduction on those low notes. That's a pretty standard thing on all the guitar tracks I do. Next is UBK1. This sounds really good on guitars as a compressor, and as you can see, I'm emphasizing the mids. This is really a tonal compressor. It changes the tone of your tracks, whatever track you put it on, and that's really what I'm using it for here. I think there is some compression going on. Not really using it for compression, though. I'm more using it for the tone it gives. So let me bypass that and I'll bring it back in. So it's emphasizing those mids, and it's kind of bringing back some of these low mids I cut out that were disgusting before, and making it blend better with the bass. So as you can see, this was making it thinned out, but in context of this, it brought it back in a nicer way, which is a technique you can do a lot, especially if you're trying to cut stuff but you don't want to get rid of it completely. If you have like nasty low end or there's some nasty stuff in the upper mids or stuff, a good technique is to cut some of that out. Don't completely notch it, but to dip it out and then bring it back with something else. So UBK1. Next, I have another instance of Pro Q2, and it looks like I'm just doing a subtle dip up top. When I get towards the end, what I try and do is start making my cuts more and more smooth so that they don't sound, if I'm going surgical here and then bringing some of that back with something like UBK, which, is adding some sort of harmonic whatever to the track, then I don't want to come back and get surgical with it again because it's going to lead to an overall surgical sound. And so it's okay to get surgical as long as you're going to bring it back with something else. So Pro Q2 here, let me bypass that and bring it in. Just taking some of that upper, mid, high-ish stuff out, just because in this particular song, it's not really what it needed. They were sticking out a little bit too much, and this made it blend better. And then lastly, I have a limiter on here. The limiter is supposed to hit just a little bit on the rhythm guitar. As you can see, there's a few other things I have going through my rhythm bus, little effect guitars, stuff like this. Stuff like that, and then noise. That's in the song not supposed to be like a huge lead part, and so it's really just hitting like right here. So stuff like that, it's just hitting that a little bit. I brought it down a little bit because it wasn't hitting. I think I maybe had this set when some of these other tracks were going through the same bus. And yeah, that's really it. And you know what? It's not a perfect solution. The perfect solution for good guitar tones is getting a good guitar tone. So using a real amp, if you're using DIs and you're using amp sims, that's fine. Just make sure you really focus on dialing it in. But the best thing I've found is to use a DI and reamp through a simple setup. Just use a 6505, some sort of Mesa cab or, something along those lines, whatever cabinet you like, and then a 57. Like just a simple setup, with dialed in right is going to get you a great guitar tone. Moreover than trying to do a lot of processing later. This video is more for if you are in this situation, you need to salvage a guitar track, this is the way to do it. Use techniques like cut, find the problem frequencies, find things that you don't like and try and get rid of them. Get rid of them just a little bit. Don't come in here and do this stuff. Okay? That stuff just sounds really, really weird to my ears, at least. I don't like that. Just get rid of a little bit of it. Maybe tame whatever you want to tame with some multiband compression, and then bring it back with something like UBK1 or some sort of harmonic excitement, something. And that'll get you a better sound than just running with what you have. But the best ideal thing that you can do is to just get a good, well-captured, well-played guitar tone. This is by no means an ideal example of how your guitar should sound. This is just how to salvage them if you absolutely need to. So let me give you a full picture of the before and after with these guitars. Again, I'm going to go to a better thing that's not just noise. So you can hear that the low end response is tighter. It sounds like they're a little less gainy, even though there's still tons of gain on it. Is because I'm dipping out some of that top end and really trying to hone in the guitar sound to sound a lot tighter, so it's not getting lost in this mess of distortion. And just really just trying to tighten it up. So yeah. That's it for me today, guys. If you have any more questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I read them, and I'll try and make a video on everything I possibly can for you guys. Remember, my first sample pack is available for purchase. It's only $15, and you're going to get multi-layered samples for an entire drum kit. And the link for that's in the description below. So you can go over to the website. You can listen to the samples and see if you like them. And if you do like them, it's only $15. You're going to get trigger files. You're going to get wave files. They're all, multi-hits, multi-velocities, and there's multiple hits in each velocity. So you're going to get all that stuff, room mics, overhead mics, everything for only $15. So I'd appreciate if you at least go check it out, listen to the samples, and see if you like it. Once again, I'm Jake for Mixing with Metal. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.